Good morning from the allotment. Thought I'd get down early because of forecast rain for later on. I've got one or two jobs to do. One of the first things I'm going to do is I've got one or two tomatoes that have done really well. I'm pleased with how the tomatoes are looking, but one or two of them I think I'm going to have to sort of repot. I'll show you which ones. So these ones, that's not a 3 centimetre pot, it's sort of like one down, but as you can see they're getting quite tall and big for the pot. It could last a couple more days, but it's not going to last a few weeks. So I'm going to go from this small pot, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm going to go into the next pot size up, which is this one here. So I'm going to repot those, and I'll take you through and show you my new potting bench as well. I've managed to get that done through the week, so I'll be able to give you an update on that. The majority of the other tomatoes are looking okay, so that's a decent enough sized tomato in the pot that it's in, and I think that's going to last in there until I pot that into its final planting location. So I'm doing that. I'm also going to pot some more outdoor cucumbers just in case. These ones, I've got about 6 or 7 of these, but they don't look too healthy, and I had about 5 or 6 spare seeds in the packet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sow those just in case these take a turn for the worst, and obviously if they don't and they come through, I've got plenty of areas around the outsides of my fencing that I can put them on, because they're outdoor cucumbers, so they can go along with a squash going around the perimeter fence. So another 6, I'll just plant those just as a safety measure really. So I'll take you across and show you where I've got to in the potting shed, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are in the potting shed, and as you can see, this is the old kids sandpit come sort of like water bathtub that I used in the greenhouse to do all my potting in. What I've done here is I've made a desk with a hole slotted in like so that it just slots in nicely. And I've got a nice chair here which is at just the right height, pushes right up to the table, and I can pot really comfortably inside there, so I can keep it really nice and tidy at the same time. Also what I've done, I don't know if you can see from there, but just here running across there, and again on the other side, it's hinged. So basically what I can do in sort of like the summertime and the wintertime when we're not using it is it can lift up and hook back against the wall, so I can utilise and get to that space underneath. So yeah, it only took, I used the old picnic bench that I had. Rather than throw that away, I cut all the timbers to length and made this. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Put myself a little rail up here with all the necessary tools that I need to do all the potting on. I've got this window here. I'm thinking of putting a smaller window in this side. We'll see how we go really. I mean, it's quite a dull day today, so you know it's not as bright, but we'll just see where we are with it. I've bobbed these shelves up. I go across here. That's going to be to put on you know, the various pots and things, but I'm also going to utilise these. These are old potato crates, and I'm thinking of making some sort of shelving system so that I can put all the different size pots in there. So that's work in progress, but let's get on with putting on those tomatoes and we'll see where we go from there. So we'll start with this potting on. As you can see, it's quite tall in terms of its pot size. So what we're going to do is just move it onto a larger size pot. do is get a little bit in the bottom and just tease this out nice and gentle, drop that in and tinkle it around. I don't know about some of you guys, I'm not how successful you're being with your compost. Certainly over here in the UK it really is hit and miss, and I'm struggling to find a compost that I can get a consistent performance out of it. So a compost that's got the required nutrients in it to obviously keep the plant healthy, but at the same time a compost that holds on to the moisture. I'm finding that I'm having to water sort of nearly every day, which I never used to. Now obviously the compost that we're now working with is peat free, and I totally agree with the reasons why we're having to go peat free, but I certainly think that these compost suppliers are going to have to sort of up the game a little bit, because I don't think the consistency and quality of some of the compost that's out there, you know, is good enough. As I say, some of it just dries out within hours, and I know certainly with my peppers last year, I had some absolutely cracking results from the compost that I used then. That did have an element of peat in it, admittedly. So yeah, is that the same way you are? You know, are you struggling with that? You know, have you found, certainly in the UK, have you guys, any guys out there, found any compost that's really good? You know, if you have, please leave a comment and let me know, because what you can't do is go from one shop to another shop trying different ones, because what you find then is in the greenhouse there'll be certain plants that need watering, other plants that don't, and you're backwards and forwards. Whereas if you can get one compost that does the same job, you know, you're watering sort of like the whole greenhouse, you know, sort of consistently. So yeah, I'm finding it a bit of a pain, to be honest, the peat free business, but it is required. These are going in here quite easily. The good thing now is this will save a job, because they would have needed doing, you know, at some point. All my plants, all the tomato plants, any plant, any used compost goes straight back out, either into the compost bin or straight directly onto my beds, and it stays on there over the winter period. So nothing really gets wasted. So yeah, you know, you have to put on, but it's worth doing to get healthy plants. That's that one. I'll get back to you once I've finished this lot. How many have I done? I've done 5. I've got another 18 to go. So I'll see you soon. So that's all those potted on. And I forgot to mention what variety these are. These are a tumbling tomato, and they are called Mascotka. I always have trouble saying that. They're a tumbling variety, but they are absolutely beautifully tasting, and they're quite a large tomato to say that they're tumblers. Tumblers tend to be more sort of like your cherry size. These are quite a large tomato, and as you can see, I've got a number of them. I was really impressed with them last year, so yeah, I would highly recommend these. So if you're thinking of trying a new variety, try this tumbler. Dead easy. Stick it in a nice decent sized pot, make sure you water it regular, and you'll get some fantastic tasting juicy tomatoes. Now that I've finished that potting on and I've emptied the compost that were in there, use that on the tomatoes. I'll just show you how the bench works. So that can simply just come out, stand to one side, and then that simply just lifts up and goes all the way back and will hook up onto the wall there. Obviously when you're out of season the shelf will be clear, and that'll go right back to the wall. So it means that I've got all this space that I can utilise during the winter period. So it's strange how the weather forecasters seem to get it right when they predict rain, but when they predict nice, sunny, fine day, it tends to go downhill. Anyway, that drove me indoors, and I've managed to fix up some of the shelving that I wanted to get done. So as you can see down there, I'm going to be storing my compost underneath, and then in here I can put some of the bigger pots that I have, and then on the top we can put some of the smaller pots. So all in all, the potting shed's getting there. So that's it from me, guys, today. I hope you all have a good weekend. Hope the sun shines wherever you are. Until the next time, take care and happy growing.